But here's the title. Hi, Natalie. The number one internal resource I believe that God gave you to achieve any goal. And by the way, I have an announcement tonight at the end. So you're going to want to hear that announcement because it's going to relate particularly to you. Oh my gosh, Blair just weighed in at the gym and he's halfway to the goal. Way to go, buddy. Hey, always give some updates on your progress, guys, on your Pick 2 goals. And if you haven't seen all the videos, go back and watch the videos. They're very specific and very actionable. Awesome. Okay, so look, the number one internal resource God gave you for achieving your Pick 2. And if you're a natural evolutionist and you don't believe God, that's totally cool too. I will not impose my beliefs on you. That's not what a coach does. You can just believe that it's a resource inside of you, all right? Okay, so listen. What do you think that internal resource is? What do you think it is? That if you were to guess, okay, if there's a divine being, what did he put inside every human being that causes them to be able to achieve any goal? Is it genetics? Is it love? Type underneath below what you think. Just start guessing. Is it joy? Is it power? Is it kindness? Maybe I already said it. Maybe I didn't. Gail, not married yet, but she's here. All right. Keep showing up, Gail. Gail's got a great head on her shoulders. I've spoken with Gail before. She's common sense and she's got good clarity about what she wants and she's an action taker. What do you think it is? Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to guess it, even if I already said it. We care. Oh, Blair's very close. Mindy, a sense of accomplishment. That's attached to it. The ability to act with intention. Yep, that's very close. It's connected. I'm looking for one word. One word. And when you first hear this word, you're going to be like, but hear me out. I guarantee by the end, you're going to be like, that totally makes sense. Okay, so the word is, you ready? It's obsession. I'm going to tell you what obsession is, how you're going to be able to use it for good, how it's going to help you achieve your Pick 2, practical applications of obsession. All the great people that have ever accomplished anything in life significant and great, it required some kind of obsession. In fact, if you look back on your life, the things that you really wanted the most, it took a little bit of crazy, a little bit of obsession for you. So what is obsession? It is when you are out of ammo. I just watched the 1917, the movie. It's like war's on my mind. So when you're out of ammo, you're charging up the hill to take care of the enemy on behalf of your family, friends, and country and neighborhood. That's obsession. You're dedicated to a cause. You feel it. It's more than passion. Obsession makes people heroes. And my challenge to you tonight is you say, you know what? I'm going to be a hero for myself, for my family. I'm going to be that. You need to be the hero. Ed McMahon showing up at your door. Obsession keeps you up at night. It gets you up in the morning. Your energy will flow to you. Success will flow to you when you become obsessed. It creates energy. It opens up doors of opportunity. It's your unfair advantage. So here's a question. Type the answer below. Have you ever been obsessed with anything or anyone in your past? Type yes or no. And if you want, tell us what it is. Have you ever been obsessed? Some of y'all think obsession is bad, so I'm gonna dispel that myth tonight. And then I'm gonna tell you how to use it for good. Gabe was obsessed with his wife, or maybe still is. Ray says yes. Natalie, yes, my husband. Yes. And the times, by the way, that you're not feeling it for your husband or wife, it's you lost your obsession. Obsessed with a guy, did not end well. Okay, high school basketball. Yeah, and you improved at that time, your crush. All right. If you want to be good with your Pick 2, like if you want to succeed halfway, it's going to require some motivation. If you want to be great and you want to nail this thing, it's going to require some obsession on your part. So I'm going to teach you how to generate that obsession, and then it's going to be up to you to take it and to stoke the flames. Well, where does it start? It starts with a desire. It could be a very basic, small desire, like a little tiny flame. Well, then, okay, how do you turn a desire, because we all know what a desire is, right? You want something, you're thinking about something. How do you turn a desire? Because you desire I talk to people, I thought about, getting my doctorate. I thought about getting in shape. Or I thought about, moving into that house. Or I thought about living there or taking that job. Everybody's got desires. How do you, desire won't get you there. Desire stoked into an obsession. Okay, how do you do that? Well, think about it this way. If you're easily distracted from something, that's not an obsession. So if right now your pick 2, your goals, whatever your 2 big goals are, whatever you pick for this year, if you are easily distracted from those 2 things, you want them, it's a desire, but it's not an obsession. And when something or someone easily distracts you repeatedly, it's becoming an obsession. It just keeps surfacing in your mind. Sometimes you cry when you think about it, or you laugh, or you smile, or you fantasize. You go to bed thinking about it or him or her. You can't stop thinking about it or him or her. When you thought of her, did that obsession distract you from making progress on your goals? Then she is your obsession, or he is your obsession. Notice that the fantasy obsession, and it's just a fantasy in your imagination, distracts you from the real life rather than vice versa. So the idea tonight is to make that thing, could you imagine what it's going to be like when you're obsessed, when you really, you got to have your pick 2. It's going to fast track you. All right. So sometimes you think it's wrong to be obsessed, or at least a lot of people that I've met with think, wait, obsession? I'm not supposed to be obsessed. I'm supposed to be balanced, right? We're going to talk about that, because sometimes you've gotten obsessed about forbidden fruit, things that are really legitimately wrong. But obsession's not wrong. You just got obsessed about the wrong things. Then you add that to people telling all of us, and I was told the same thing, that you need to suppress your obsession. You grow up thinking that obsession is kind of wrong. So we're taught that obsession is negative. Maybe you were taught 1, deny your obsession or suppress it, or maybe it's even a sin, or 2, just find balance. Anyone ever heard that? Put down the guitar, stop practicing so much. There's much more to life than what you're trying to do. Slow down with the getting in the shape. You're already in enough shape. Be thankful for what you have money-wise. There's more to life than that. Listen, yes, we should be thankful, but maybe you want more. Maybe you want to level up. Maybe you want to help more. Maybe you want more income so that you can help more people. I don't know what it is for you, but I can tell you this, balance does not exist. Instead, my suggestion as your coach is to get obsessed with your whole life. There's only 8 to 10 major categories of life. To get obsessed with all of those categories for your life, because it's your life and you're running out of time, man. Or maybe you've heard this. Just be grateful for what you have. Okay, I'm grateful for what I have, but when they say that, they mean something different. Anybody ever heard that? Or, dude, you just need to chill out or calm down. Or I've heard this one, maybe you have. You're not fitting in. You're different these days. What happened? Just, fit in. My answer to that is the world doesn't need more people to fit in. They need more people who are burning alive inside their hearts with the fuels of obsession and passion and excitement for what they want and who they're becoming, more importantly, right? It's always about who you're becoming anyway, towards the goal. That's why you want to set big dreams and big goals out there, because as you progress towards those big goals, you're becoming somebody that you're proud of and that other people are proud of, and it's leaving a legacy, and you're going to be able to help more people. Or maybe you've heard this one. We love you just the way you are. And I didn't know what to do with that. I'm like, well, thank you. Oh, whew, I'm loved. Now I'm like, well, thank you for loving me, but I need your support towards these towards these goals right now. Listen, all those things that are said, they will create what's called a glass ceiling for your life. You can't see the ceiling, but you'll stop growing because you just take the advice of people who love you a lot. what you need to do, I won't spend time on this, maybe in the future I will, is you need to get around people who are obsessed with positive outcomes for life. With the right things. They're kind of maniacal about doing good in the world. Look, there's bad people out there who are obsessed with bad things. We need good people who are obsessed with good things. Look at Elon Musk. Like, he's saying, hey, we're going to go to other planets. Whatever, no matter what it takes, no matter how much money it takes, no matter how many resources it takes, he's gone broke a couple times. We are going to other planets. The point is this. Somebody once said, if you don't have the mental capacity, if you don't have the mental capacity to know how to get obsessed about what you're trying to get or who you're trying to become, his words were, you ain't ever going to get it. You'll start and you'll stop. You'll start and you'll stop. And maybe you've done that before. So put below, have you ever been told any of those things or something similar? Right below what you've been told. Maybe it's, hey, just appreciate what you have, or calm down, or you're not fitting in, or just be grateful. But it didn't mean just be grateful. It meant you need to slow down. Has anyone ever been told stuff like that before? Type below. Maybe you haven't. Okay, I see people have been obsessed with crush, obsessed with sports in general, obsessed about getting stuff straightened out. Okay, Mindy's been told this stuff their whole life. Someone else has been told, you don't need to lose more weight, you're skinny enough. Yeah, and you know what? Listen, everybody is enough. Everybody is loved. Everybody has 100% value. And what I believe, you are a child of God, and you are amazing. You don't need to do anything else to win the merits and favor of the creator of the universe, because you are loved just the way you are. And yet he's not done with you, and he's constantly growing us. And if you have desires in your heart, it's okay to want more. So these messages are well intended from people, aren't they? Would you agree? They mean well, but it creates a glass ceiling. Been told to speak properly. I hate saying this and get told all the time. Yes, I've been told that. Yeah, you begin to lower your standards and your goals and your aspirations because you feel like you're wrong. You feel like you don't fit in. Well, here's my suggestion for all of you joining now live and those who watch later is you are supposed to use your God-given capacity to obsess about the right things. And here's how it helps you. Number one, and then I'll teach you how to do it. Positive obsession isn't a clinical problem. I believe it's a divine gift. Some people use it wrong, some people use it right. And to appreciate it, to lean into it and say, I got this gift. Two, the obsessive nature that you have, if you use it well, you'll be able to help more people. Maybe it's to stop human trafficking. Maybe it's to provide clean water. Maybe it's so you can get in shape the way you want to and live longer and be around for your grandkids and be a positive role model. Bad people are obsessing about bad things. Good people need to obsess about good things. 3, it's going to help you reach your potential in money. If you don't get obsessed about what you want in money, you'll never get it. Your medical. If you don't get obsessed about your health and well-being, you'll never reach it. If you don't get obsessed with your mindset and having positivity and love and joy and peace and kindness and all these things overflow from your head and your heart, you'll never get it. So the other one here, and this I've been toying with this idea. Obviously feel free to disagree, but I really believe this. I was always taught that there's this hole in my heart, and I needed to get it filled up. And there's 2 things that fill it up, really. This crowd over here saying materialism, go get money, go get all this, and it fills it up. And this group over here in different religions, and again, I'm a Christian, says, but even other religions say this, God is going to fill up the hole in your heart. But what if there is no hole in our heart? What if we need God anyway, but this ache that's inside of us is this idea that God's put in us to grow, this capacity to expand, where we have an abundant God who's overflowing with mercy and grace and love and peace and joy and kindness and generosity. And as we grow, we are more connected to the creator of the universe. And this ache is a calling for us to grow in our capacities and obsessiveness towards the right things, whether it's towards this creator or towards our expressing our gifts or honing in our gifts or growing our capacity towards making money and helping people or getting fit and in shape so that we can live longer. Of course, there's a vanity side to all these things, but the idea is to grow. It's a spiritual thing to me, to grow and to connect, right? So listen, obsession starts with desire, and maybe you've had a desire, but you felt like you were getting obsessive so you weren't supposed to. Well, I wonder, are you obsessed? Go ahead and type this below. Are you obsessed currently with your pick 2, yes or no? Do you desire it? Be honest. Or are you obsessed? So if you're typing now or if you watch us later. Marsha's obsessed. Yeah, Marsha's even paying for stuff to make this happen, aren't you, Marsha? Like she's obsessed. Gail, I'm really obsessed with one, only kinda with the other. Margaret, I am with one of them. Right? One of my pick 2 I'm obsessed with. Look, y'all saying yes with one. A couple of you said both, all right? Yeah, okay, obsession. Okay, awesome. It was a desire, but I'm just disciplined. I don't love working out one bit, okay? But something behind it. You might be obsessed with respect. You might be obsessed with how your future spouse is going to look at you, Like the guys I used to mentor, they had a term for that. Blair's getting ready to get married, not to put you on the spot. But the term they had was LGN, look good naked. So maybe there's an obsession there. I don't know. You never told me that. Professor says I'm growing obsession with one of them for sure. Maybe I should change my second one. You either need to change it or figure out how to be obsessed about it. That's the challenge tonight. You don't have to be obsessed yet. My challenge will be you get obsessed. My job is to help teach you that obsession is required to hit this faster. You may still hit it without obsession, but if your goal is lofty, that's why people who lose tons and tons of weight, they're literally obsessed. And that's good. But people say, well, I love you just the way you are. Yeah, but I want to get healthy, man. I want to live longer, right? I know the data says I'm going to die if I'm not walking, right? Or if I'm smoking or whatever. So listen, if you've wanted to give up on your pick 2 or your goals, or if maybe you already fell off the wagon on one or two of them, or you're hitting roadblocks, the missing ingredient tonight is a little bit of obsessiveness about who you are. And it's okay. You can use it just like they used to say TV's bad. Elvis dancing with his hips. Oh my gosh, that's of the devil. Oh my gosh, virtual reality's of the devil. It's always something's of the devil. You can use it for good or you can use it for evil. And obsessiveness is in you, and you can use it for good or you can use it for evil. Napoleon Hill, who wrote the famous book, I think it's the number 2 book selling of all time, right behind the Bible, is Think and Grow Rich. And he contends, he says, your success is found just right here. When you turn desire into a burning obsession, like it's burning, like you gotta have this. Like some people may say, man, that dude's crazy. Why are you out running? Why are you out? It's freezing outside. Because I'm obsessed. You may just say I want to, but man, it's okay to say I'm obsessed. So how do you sustain obsession? How do you turn a desire into obsession? I keep saying subsession. I don't know what's going on there. You got to keep feeding your dream. You got to keep feeding your pick 2. You got to keep feeding it. You got to give your goals and your dreams energy, because your thoughts are energy. If you don't keep feeding it, you're going to go broke. Spiritually, you'll grow broke with your purpose, in your mindset. So let me ask you a question below. How do you personally feed your pick two, feed your dream? How do you give it energy? I'll give you a couple of examples as you're thinking. Maybe you have a podcast related to marriage, if you want to get married, or you are going to get married. Or you subscribe to a podcast of health, if it's to get fit and healthy. It could be, I'm getting ready to print out pictures of some of my virtual mentors, some people that I've never even met. One who's got fitness at the level that I would like to be at, one who's a spiritual mentor, one who's a financial mentor. And then when I walk into the room, I can just see their pictures, and I know why their pictures are up there. They inspire me. They talk to me. They say, what are you doing? Don't spend that money. What are you doing? Get the cupcake down. You don't eat that cupcake. They talk to me, right? That's how I fuel and feed mine. What would you do? Gail signed up for a class. Awesome. Okay. Marsha signed up for stuff. Mindy set me up for my next goal. You need to think about how you're going to fuel your dream and your pick two. It's pictures, podcast, memorizing things. I eat clean, April says. Say no to sweets. Man, sugar literally kills us. Sugar might be the new smoking. We just don't know it. Okay, Gail keeps the guy she's got a crush on her desktop at work. That's definitely feeding your dream. Ray's house hunting. Okay, you're feeding it. You're looking into it. That's part of her pick two. Look, when you deny your pick two, when you say, that's not that important, you push the energy down. And remember, last week I said everything is literally 99.9%. Everything is energy. Don't say what. Everything is energy. Listen, I know you're scared. I got my goal up there. One of those goals freaks me out that I have signed up for. That I put down. I get scared all the time. But listen, God or the universe or both have a tendency to say yes. And people are praying words. Notice this. Their prayers many times go unanswered because their words don't match their emotional energy, which is their spirit. And I believe God listens to your spirit far more than words, because your spirit is where trust and faith is. And if your spirit is afraid and living in fear, and your words are living in faith, God's going to say yes to, okay, you're not ready for that yet. We're going to answer in the affirmative. Yes, let's stay there because that's where you want to be. You get it? So you've got to be able to get your energy up and not press it down when people say, oh, so you don't have to be modest. Oh, so you're wanting to lose 50 pounds? Yeah, I guess. No. Yeah, I'm losing 50 pounds. I'm gaining 50 pounds, whatever it is you want to do. Yeah, I'm getting a house. Yeah, I'm getting married. Don't be bashful about it. Next, obsession leads to your current purpose. Some of you have lost your purpose. When you get obsessed about stuff, you'll find that you're going to get clarity about your life purpose. You can never fulfill your life purpose without some sort of obsession. So listen, the challenge is identify, ignore, and eliminate anything that causes you to doubt your pick two or goals, to despair, or get discouraged. Look, I know, I get it. It's easy to get discouraged. Oh my gosh, how am I going to do that? You don't ask how. You just say, that's what I've chosen. I'm committed. Those things are the enemy of your obsession. You will not feel obsessed anymore. You'll feel discouraged and discouraged. So you won't have the courage to go for it anymore. That's what discouraged means. The only times I was ever truly successful in my life is when I got obsessed, and watch this, I embraced the obsession as a divine gift. You need to embrace, I would suggest, obsession is a good thing, because you're going to get haters and critics who will tell you, hey man, just relax, it's okay. I remember hearing Walt Disney, or seeing some quote he said, to succeed, you have to cherish, above all else, a magnificent obsession. I mean, you have to, right? If you're Disney, he's going to create a whole brand out of a mouse. Who's going to go there? Now all women, men, children, they want to be around mice, right? And by the way, everybody gets obsessed. So when people say, why did you just say I'm obsessed? Everybody gets obsessed because they'll think you're a freak. Oh my gosh, he's obsessed. You're obsessed too. You just get obsessed with the wrong things. How many of y'all worry? We are obsessive over our worries. We think about it again and again and again. We overthink, which leads to unhappiness. People obsess about their worries, but then they say you can't obsess about your dreams. This is crazy. They obsess about their stresses. They obsess about their problems. People are addicted to talking about their problems. Why? Because it's an obsession. They don't realize that problems are not permanent. But they're making them permanent by obsessing about it. You get it? They're perpetuating the problem by continuing to talk about it. Don't give it energy. Don't talk about it. It eventually go away. Or you got to do something about it. One of those two. But overthinking and worrying, stressing is not going to help the problem. Or people are obsessed about the news. Oh my gosh, see what the Republicans did? No, but I saw what the Democrats did. The left, the right, the politicians are going to save us. Look, yes, be informed, but don't obsess about that stuff. Politicians, this is an unpopular opinion by yours truly. Politicians do not change the world. Grassroots movement, love, people who are obsessed about love and peace and all those are the people that change the world. Martin Luther King Jr. changed the world. People get obsessed about sports. I love sports. We've got to be careful. How much energy is that distracting me from my pick two? Right? I don't know. It won't change your life. Who won the Oscars? Right? These are all good things. They're not terrible things, but they're taking your energy and your attention. Drugs and alcohol. People get obsessed about that stuff. People get obsessed about their haters, their critics. Oh my gosh, people are gossiping about me. Right? We obsess about this thing. So I give those as examples because I want you to type below some unhelpful things that are distracting you personally from your pick two or your goals. Type below. Maybe one or two unhelpful. That's not bad. It's not a sin. But just not helping you succeed. Blair says Illini basketball right now is making life a lot better. You know, it is. I can't argue with that. I mean, they've won 5 or 6 in a row. And maybe it does have a good positive effect. But if they lose the next day, you feel like crap. So maybe it doesn't. It balances out. It's neutralized. Anything that you obsess about, be honest, identify it. And because if you don't identify it, it's going to continue to take up your attention. And your attention is everything. Information. Man, we all scroll, don't we? We all scroll. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snap. Social media. Yep. We justify it too. We justify it. Y'all ought to be using social media for good. Leverage that stuff for good. A lot of work. Okay. Netflix. Yeah, I turn on one episode of Netflix and before we know it, it's 4 hours later. Not want to spend too much time on me. Yeah, you got to spend time on you. If you don't spend time on yourself, you're not going to be any good for the other person. You're good for other people in proportion to how good you treat yourself. Entertaining. Yeah, they're all coming in right now. Mindless junk. Okay, so they keep coming in. Why do you think people get obsessed about the wrong things? Maybe type that below. I think maybe it's because it enables us to get the focus off ourselves and out there, and so now we can avoid the work. Because the goals require work, don't they? Oh man, I'll just go watch the Oscars or something. Listen, if these things distract you from your goals, listen to this. Your goals are not obsessions. These things are the obsessions. You know that to be true in your gut, but it's not easy, is it? So you can be obsessed about the wrong things. The goal is to be obsessed about the right things. Okay, you still got stuff coming in, cool. Think if your life was focused and you're obsessed about the positive outcomes. You wouldn't have time for the news or gossip or wars or all that stuff. Obsession, I'm telling you this right now, it can save your life. It can take you to the pinnacle of wherever you're trying to get. I just watched a snippet of Conor McGregor, who's having a transformation personally in his life. I hope so, because he's done some bad stuff. But he just won, he's the champion of the world in MMA now, which I have a hard time watching that stuff. But I watched his interviews, and he says, listen, that this is an obsession for me. He says, we're all equals as human beings. I'm not talented. I'm just obsessed with making this happen. Then he goes on to say, to do anything at a high level, it has to be a total obsession. And if you interview anyone, I don't care if they're a pastor, a rabbi, a monk, a celebrity, a movie star, Leonardo DiCaprio, Tony Robbins, people in Iran, it's universal. If they made it to a top of their industry, they were obsessed. And many people say at that time, well, I want more balance in my life. There's no such, pick the 8 to 10 categories of life and get obsessed with your life. That's the idea, right? And other things start to flow into place, but people get nervous and scared about that stuff. So my challenge is use obsession for positive outcomes. What would your life look like? You can type it below if you want. What would your life look like if you got obsessed with your 2 goals? Do you think you would hit your 2 goals if you were obsessed with your 2 goals? As you're typing, I'll just tell you, I've been obsessed before. I would not be married if I was not obsessed. I'm not going to go into my story, but there is a fine line between pursuing a woman and stalking a woman. I was obsessed with winning Pandy over. Also, too, I'm obsessed with providing for my family. When I read the Bible, it says, hey, not providing for your family is worse than not believing in God. You better be obsessed about that stuff. I remember being obsessed about, speaking of God, I was obsessed about God. I remember when my dad died when I was 25 years old. I was obsessed with understanding how a good God, an all-powerful God, and an all-knowing God could exist when a really great guy just died. Because if God was all-loving, he would want to prevent that. If he was all-knowing, he knows how to prevent it. And if he's all-powerful, he had the power to prevent it. And yet, my dad died. So that led me on a 10-year journey of studies of all things divinity. And I wanted to come up with some answers because I became obsessed. I paid $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 to figure this stuff out and to sit around the top minds in the world and read books for about 8 years just on this subject because I was totally obsessed. I ended up getting a degree, a terminal degree, but listen, I was not in it for the degree. If I was in it for the degree, I would have quit halfway through because it was horrible. I was obsessed with finding out information. Currently, I'm obsessed with some of my physical potential. So at the gym, does anybody take group fitness classes? I don't know why you typed Arnold Schwarzenegger. Group fitness classes, right now, in the last month or so, when the music stops, we change weights and we go on to a different muscle group on our body and a new song comes on. I'm still pumping out iron when the music stops. Why? Because my muscles haven't failed yet and I can't reach my potential unless I fail. And so they're all done. There's probably 40, 50 people in there. I don't care. I'm going because I want to reach my potential and I'm giving myself permission to be a little obsessed. I'll stop before the next song. But you got to get a little obsessed. Okay, so one says, I puked during HIIT yesterday morning. Good for you, man. You're hitting potential. Go for it. My goal is to puke in class. But I'm afraid to. I don't want to get it on the floor. So listen, I challenge you to get obsessed. People who win at life, they get obsessed. You don't have to get to the top of an industry, but if you're going to win at this stuff, you have to leverage your God-given capacity to be obsessed about the right things, that you're so focused on these things that distractions are no longer going to steal your attention from them because it matters to you a great deal. It's okay to have all kinds of interests in life. You just got to be obsessed about a couple things. And here's why. Here's the big idea. Write this thing down. This is a phrase that will change how you think about obsession. Here it is. Obsessions become your possessions. Somebody write that down in the comments. Our obsessions become our possessions. In other words, once you start obsessing over something, you will eventually, your brain will go to work trying to prove you right, and they will eventually try to possess it. Think about addicts. They obsess over the drug and they do whatever it takes to get the next hit. Think about a crush. You couldn't stop thinking of her. You wanted to date her. You wanted to be with her. How many times a day did you think about him, right? And in many cases, they became your possession, not a literal possession, but you hooked up and you dated and maybe you got engaged and married, right? And if something distracts you enough, that's your obsession. Some of you, ladies, were so focused on having a child, it led you to what? Get pregnant. And then it led you to 9 months, hopefully, of pregnancy. And you were so focused on delivering this baby, you were obsessed that out came a possession, a human being. It had all your attention. You had an obsessive nature about you in order to deliver a human life. That took some obsession to see that happen, right? Some of you may study for finals. You have to get obsessed, right? You stay up all night, you get up early. Your calendar shows that you're obsessed, even if you don't think you're obsessed. And that obsession leads you to the possession of a what? A degree and hopefully a job. Someone gets sick in your family. Maybe they get cancer. You don't know anything about this particular cancer. Maybe it's breast cancer. But now all of a sudden, someone has breast cancer in your family. You do all kinds of research. You're not an oncologist, but now you've become an expert on this particular cancer. Why? Because you got obsessed, because you want to help out your family member. Now, I say those examples because you can do this with your pick two. You can do this with your goals. You can do this with your dreams. And if you got obsessed about those two things, you get it? You get it? You got to get obsessed. I'm trying to transfer this energy to you because you're going to click off, right? And then it's going to be, oh man, whoo! Man, he was coming at me tonight. But then you're going to go to bed. You're going to brush your teeth. You're going to look in the mirror. And hopefully when you look in the mirror, you're going to see the eye of the tiger, right? You're going to see, I got to get a little crazy about these pick two. Listen, I'm at stake in this too. I want you to hit your goals so bad. I want you to get a little obsessed about this. People come along and say, calm down. You're like, I can't calm down. I got to get these pick two. I got to get these goals, right? You can do this. You got obsessed about other things in life, and you can do it now, regardless of your conditions, regardless of your circumstances. I mean, look at addicts. They have terrible conditions. They have horrible circumstances. They haven't showered maybe in weeks. They have no money. They have no job. They have no resources. They've probably been locked up before. Maybe they're on the run, yet they still find a way to get the next hit. They do whatever it takes. Why? Because their body is obsessed with getting the next hit. And you can be obsessed about positive stuff. You can reach your next goal. You can lose the weight. You can get laptop income. You can build a company. You can transfer jobs. You can get the money that you want. You can be more connected to God. You can double your happiness. You can triple, quadruple your happiness. You're way more powerful than you think when you get totally obsessed about what you're going after, right? You can feel it inside of you right now. You know there's another level in you. And if you go a little crazy and focused and obsessed about it, you're going to get there, right? And you won't possess it until you're truly obsessed. It just won't happen. So I found this quote, right? I don't know who this dude is. Franz Kafka. So I'm on my paper here. Franz Kafka says, I see some of you asking questions. I'll get to them in just a second. He says, listen, don't bend. Why would I bend? If somebody's saying calm down or whatever, don't bend. Don't water your goals down. Don't try to be logical about it. Don't try to make sense of it. Don't edit your own soul according to the fashion. Rather, follow your most intense obsessions mercilessly. Mercilessly. Follow them obsessively, right? Such a profound quote. The number one missing piece of the puzzle here is something inside of you. To use your God-given inner resource to be a little obsessed. All the great things in my life I would not have without some crazy, without some obsession. You want to get X, laptop income, fitness, health, a job, whatever it is for you, but you keep stopping. What you need is some obsession. When you deny your obsession, you will kill your goals. Obsession, when embraced, will save your life. It'll save it. So look, type questions or thoughts below, and then I'll go through and answer the questions, but one announcement is I'm looking at my calendar and I see that there's one more week in January. So that gives us about 1, 2, 3, 4. I gave you about 5 weeks of a launching pad here. I think what I'm going to do is now address topics that you've picked. So the goals, whether it's laptop income or fitness, happiness, the ultimate marriage. What else did you pick? Maybe it was spirituality, finances, mindset mastery. For one, like in February, I may just tackle the ultimate marriage. Maybe it's mindset mastery. Maybe it's laptop income. And I'm just going to give you tip after tip, strategy after strategy, and teach you and give you some action steps to make it happen and coach you through it. And everybody should jump on because you'll be able to use strategies for your own thing that you're seeing for this, that I'm talking directly to that. And you may say, hey, man, that I could actually do that too. And then the next month, I'll spend 4 weeks on another topic. And then the next month on another topic. And then maybe I'll throw in stuff like I'm doing right now, like obsession or find your why